to the side. Yes. From Sharon all the way to the chair.
Right, it is 6:30 and we're here at Lakeside Club in the clubhouse for a meeting. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a few things before we get started. Would like to have a moment of silence. I understand Jerry Marsh passed away this week, so let's just have a moment of silence for him and his wife. Thank you. Hang in there. We're getting our other two board members on the phone.
Yeah, Michelle, is your light on?
We're on.
Speak into it.
You need to put it closer to you.
Okay, you're on, Patrick. We're,
That's okay. All right. Can you hear now? All right. All right. We have the proof of notice that
yes.
okay, very good. And can I get a motion to waive or to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Roll call.
We'll get there.
I make a motion, we waive the reading of last meeting.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? All right. Good. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do our roll call. Brian?
Andy Levin, here. Michelle Camp,
Here?
Bill England,
Here.
Sharon Osborne,
Here.
Debbie Cadden, phone, Patrick Madigan, Brian Knapp, here.
All right. Well, here, we're doing pretty good considering two are out of town, which is great. All right, so you can see we have some additional guests with us tonight. We want to welcome Lieutenant Javon Matthews, Lieutenant Angelo Vaughn, and Victoria, right? From the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Thank you for being here. We've had some issues that we've been working on, and they're going to share with us all some of the things that we can do when there are problems in the community, and then maybe answer some questions for you. So I will just extend the microphones to you guys, and you take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Camp. First of all, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Outstanding. Okay, great. Again, my name is Lieutenant Angelo Vaughn with the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and my team over here, Lieutenant Javon Matthews and Ms. Victoria Stark. We're all part of the Lee County Sheriff's Office Community Response Unit. Well, what is the Community Response Unit? That unit was implemented back in 2020, and what we do, we go out to different gated communities, such as this one. We're more of a liaison for you. You're the eyes and ears, and if patrol, because they're very busy out there, just like the rest of us, but with us, we can focus on certain communities, like all of them, like this one in particular, and we provide various assets. Let's say if you're having a ice cream social, okay, or let's say a welcome to summer bash, we can offer these assets such as the ice cream truck, bring out the cotton candy machine. I can attest to that because I ran the cotton candy machine this Easter weekend. So, and it was very delicious. But But those are just some of the things we can offer. We also have crime prevention, which is Ms. Stark is going to talk about that. Different programs such as frauds and scams, residential security, personal safety. I don't want to expand too much on that because Victoria's going to handle that part of it. But that's what we do. We also not provide, but let's say we make sure you have LPRs, license plate readers, on your gates when people are coming in and out. If there is a situation, or let's say there's an individual that we're looking for, it can identify that a driver's license. We also what we try to emphasize to everyone is to be very proactive. Always be on guard. Live your life, because you've earned the right to live here in peace. Come and go, ride your bike as you please. So unfortunately, it was brought to our attention, you have an individual in here that was causing problems. If you see suspicious activity, as cliche as it sounds, see something, say something. Even if it turns out to be nothing, we'd rather for you to call the non-emergency number of the sheriff's office, which is 477-1000. And that's an easy number to remember, as opposed to 911. 911, as we know, is an emergency. But 477-1000, and there we go. And just let us know, because you're the eyes and ears of the community. We're only as effective as you are, if that makes sense. So that's what the community response unit does. We are the liaison to you. Myself and Lieutenant Matthews have our business cards up here on the table. We're also going to leave, Ms. Stark is going to leave some copies of what programs she has to offer. And we can, again, just talk to us. Just like we're having this meeting right now. We need to know what's going on in the community, making things better. We're here to work with you. That's our purpose, is to communicate, just talk to each other. Talk to us. Absolutely.
Thank you all for being here, first of all. Like you said, thank you all for being here. And I want you to know that, like Lieutenant Vaughn said, there's no problem that is too big or too small. We want to get to know you first through your elected representatives. If there is an issue, please notify your board. We maintain a very close contact with them, and they work around the clock to make sure that they keep this place safe. You spent your hard-earned money. You worked your entire career so that you could come to sunny Southwest Florida and enjoy your time here. And our sole responsibility in this community is to make sure that you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So we don't care what it is. If it's causing a concern in the community, we want to address it. Now, one of the issues with being in such a tight-knit community such as this is that the rumor mill will swirl, there's gossip, there's misinformation, and we want to dispel any of that. So I'll give you an example. If you're walking your dog and it's about 6:30 at night, and you happen to see a sheriff's vehicle, or you happen to see the paramedics, or you happen to see emergency vehicles, you want to know what's happening. And so okay. Thank you. We want to be able to dispel any rumors before they start. So please, if you see something like that, reach out to your HOA representatives. However, they'll also reach out to us, and we'll try to get that information to you as quick as we can. Some information we may not be able to share because there may be an investigation. But what we want you to do is to know that you're safe, let you know that this is an issue that the Lee County Sheriff's Office is aware of, and we are taking care of it, and your safety and well-being is maintained. I remember one time when I was working in the community, when I was living in a community as a resident deputy, I was poor, so I took the job because they reduced my rent, right? And so I had people coming and knocking on my door all times of night, and I had no problem with it, because if the people around me are safe, then I've done my job. So it may be just as simple as us coming through with a marked vehicle, and as you're walking your dog, you see that marked vehicle, you feel safety, and that's what the sheriff wants. You're very important to the sheriff. Eric, this community is very important to us, and there's nothing that we won't do to try to assist you all. So please utilize us. I happen to enjoy getting text messages at night. Oh, at least this person's thinking about me. Now, if you call me late at night and my wife answers, that's another situation right there. But please utilize us. Lieutenant Vaughn is he's a fixture in this county. I don't think there's a person that Lieutenant Vaughn does not know. And I think we want to add to his collection here, okay, at Pine Ridge. So please,
Thank you.
if there's anything, and he's been very helpful to us. Like Lieutenant Vaughn said, we did have some issues, but we're addressing that right now, and we're working on it. And just know that your concerns are not unheard. We're looking into them, and we'll continue to look into them. So.
Thank you. Hello, how is everybody today? Good. I see some familiar faces. My name is Victoria. I work also for the Lee County Sheriff's Office. I've been on this unit for about 2 years now? So it goes by fast. My job is originally to do crime prevention programs. So I'm just gonna ask you all a question. Show of hands, how many of you all have received a phone call or a text message from someone you did not know within the past 2 weeks? There you go. Okay, so everyone look around. So we do programs on frauds and scams and information exactly like that, like what you're receiving, okay? We talk to community members, we talk to places of worship, we're also in work. What is going on? Should I just stand? We talk to different workplaces. Switch with one. There we go. Try this again, okay? I don't want to blow out your eardrums. So we do public speaking engagements and things like that. So for example, our frauds and scams presentation. That frauds and scams presentation is actually updated, I want to say once, twice every week. Why? Because again, it's so important, right? Okay. Again, it's updated because what good is it if I show you an example from 2012? Right? I mean, how does that help you? I know we've all received the SunPass one, right? The FedEx package, the Netflix.com, trust me, we know. Yeah, the wine picture, exactly. So unfortunately, right, they are one step ahead of us with these scams and things like that. But it's our job in the community response unit, right, to bring that to your attention so that you can prevent crimes and things like that, especially from sending money to criminals and things like that. Our women's self-defense class, show of hands, how many of you all get it? There's my group. There we go. They can reiterate we had a great class. It was a great turnout. And again, we can do them, all the programs, as many times as you'd like. We do personal safety, we do residential security, better ways to secure your house. We also do surveys for your house. So if you're interested in looking into better ways to secure, lighting, landscaping, your camera systems, me and a colleague will come out to your house, or Lieutenant Vaughn and I, and we'll just assess the situation, give you some suggestions. It's all free. Again, these are all resources that we have through the Sheriff's Office that you all have the ability to have in your community. We also do active shooter, workplace violence situations, programs and things like that, not only for your community, but if you have an organization outside of this, a group or anything like that, and you're interested to get to know more of these programs, I'm going to leave these papers up here. There is a contact information down below, and if you want, I can also write down my email so you can contact me directly, because this is my one of my communities that I work in. Okay. So again, thank you all for so much for your time. Do you guys want to add anything else? Questions?
Does anybody on the board have a question? I do, just briefly. When you said if you see something, say something, and I'm wholeheartedly on board with that. But that means to contact that non-emergency number first, right? I don't want everybody to just start calling Eric or the office. When a situation arises that you are concerned about, contact the Sheriff's Department and then notify Eric the next day, or one of the board members, correct?
And use your judgment as to whether it's an emergency or not. Sometimes it is a 911, and other times it's a non-emergency.
Okay, Mr. Ray just made a very valid point. You're adults, you've seen things in the world, you know the difference between, okay, let the Sheriff's Office know about it, as opposed to something that's very drastic. So yes, call the non-emergency number, but again, let us know. We'd rather respond to something that turns out to be nothing, or not respond and then it turns out to be something pretty catastrophic. So
yeah,
just,
I always say a false alarm is the best,
we'll
the
go with
best
that.
outcome. That means
Absolutely.
nothing happened, but
So
at least check it out. Yeah.
definitely we'll check it out. But again, just talk to us and just reach out to us as opposed to the board members because they have a purpose, but they're not law enforcement. Okay, they cannot make arrests or go hands-on with anyone, but just get a hold of us and then we will reach out and let them know this is what took place, give you a case number depending on what the situation is.
And like I told you guys, we want to be your number one community, your favorite. Out of
You
all.
are the favorite community, that's why we're here.
Does anybody from the community have any questions, comments for the officers?
Hi, I'm Mary Parmesan, 4781 Lakeside Club.
Mary, can you come up to the mic, please? I'm sorry.
Mary Parmesan, 4781 Lakeside Club. What is the situation that's going on? I'm not part of a rumor mill. I come to the pool, but I'm not part of a rumor mill.
Put it up closer to your mouth.
Okay. I am not part of the rumor mill. What situations do we have going on in a beautiful, peaceful community?
Sure. Thank you for the question, first and foremost. So when I say that, I speak with the experience of having over 600 communities in Lee County. And each community is unique in their special set of circumstances, but overall there are generalities. So when I say that, I speak to the understanding of knowing that in each community, you have misinformation based on things that occur in that community. So while there is no specific incident that I'm going to say there's rumors and gossip to, I do understand the fact that people living in community together, there are times that there's misinformation and there needs to be clarification. So when I said that, I'm saying that in the sense of rather than speculate on what's going on in your particular community, you do have liaisons in that community that can get you that information. So we want to keep this community safe and sunny and all of those things, but we also understand that when humans start humaning, right, things happen. And so we're here to be able to be a point of contact to get you the accurate information from the law enforcement. And I just want to speak real quick just to the fact that we do have to understand the difference between what is a criminal infraction that the law enforcement needs to be involved in, and then issues that happen in the HOA according to your documents and bylaws. We want to use our discretion. We're not here to arbitrate between anything that happens on the HOA side, but we are here to point you in the right direction if there's something that may become a criminal issue. And so we don't want to blur those lines. Sometimes they get blurry, but we want to make sure that we are able to speak to you from a position of authority as far as the law enforcement perspective. So I hope that answered the question.
And
I
another
don't
thing,
know, and that's a good thing.
another thing that I've taken away from talking to the officers is the gossip in the community. If they are investigating something, the gossip eventually gets around to the person that maybe they're looking at investigating, and then they become wise to it. So it's best to kind of be aware of your surroundings, know what's going on, but to have it be a big topical conversation in the community is not going to be helpful to resolving it most of the time.
Anybody else? No? Okay.
No one else out. This is something that came up in Eric's manager's meeting last Wednesday. If we have someone coming in the gate, a resident coming in, and someone is outside the gate waiting to get in, to walk in, should we call that non-emergency number and report that? It's the same as with a vehicle tailgating you in. Should we call or not?
Okay, so your question is, if somebody's waiting at the gate, walking in, they're on foot, and they just happen to walk in after the car or someone else walks in?
Or they're waiting for a car to pull up so that way they can come.
Okay,
And hiding in the bushes.
I would say call the non-emergency number because they more likely are not a resident and they could be trespassed. Call the non-emergency number, and if somebody can get the best description possible for the deputy and by the way, if you don't want to meet with law enforcement, you can say, we just want to remain anonymous, but this is what just took place. Can you have a deputy come by? And what we do is called an area check. And what area checks are is we come into the community and let's say we have that situation, which you just mentioned, sir. We'll look for that individual, we'll talk to him, we'll go up, consensual talk, stop and talk. It's what we do in patrol when myself and Lieutenant Matthews used to work that. And we just say, hey, how are you doing? Do you live in the area? Identify yourself, those questions. Just call an emergency number because it may be legit, it may not be. But if it is, why are they waiting till that gate opens? So, but by all means, let us know.
Yeah, and please don't get hung up on whether I should call 911 or the non-emergency number. Dispatch will determine the priority. Make sure they get units out there as needed. Okay.
One of the other things to touch on is the Neighborhood Watch program. That's something that I didn't mention when I talked about programs. So what we have is a Neighborhood Watch program that we set up with you. We have handouts and things like that. You can go on vacation. You all don't need to be full-time 100% to be a part of the Neighborhood Watch program. But what that entails is, again, you guys have meetings, you invite us out. We sometimes, again, we can bring our assets like our robot dog, our ice cream truck, right? And again, it's about community involvement, right? You get 2 signs for your community, big, loud, this community is under Neighborhood Watch signs. Again, it's free. All we ask is that you invite us, right, to your community events. We like to hang out as well with you all. So again, that's something that we can also set up with the community.
Years ago we had the real dog come out, the robot dog. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Brian, we have a neighborhood watch now that we're kind of getting started, aren't we? Don't we? With the safety issue, or?
We have not discussed the details of a neighborhood watch, but I'd be happy to
Of course. Oh, okay.
talk about it.
Yeah, I can write down my information and I'll write it in the.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all very much for allowing us to come in. Just
Thank you for coming.
We appreciate it.
That's on behalf of Lieutenant Sheriff Carmine Marcelo and the Lieutenant Sheriff's Office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Go first.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank you again so much for your time. Thank you. Again, it was nice to see you. Have a good one.
So all the pens up here have the non-emergency number on it. So if you want to take it and keep it handy for yourself, they're all up here on the desk. So take one of them with one of the other cards, okay? Yeah. All right, we'll get back on track now. Eric, your manager's report?
Okay, so we want to thank the officers for coming in. That was very informative. You can read between the lines about the unit or the issue that he's been talking about. It's most of it happening on Saleview. It seems like it's under control, at least for the time being. They're going to keep me in the loop on everything that's happening with it. That's what they were just telling me on the way out off the microphone here. We're doing everything we can with the police, and we're doing everything we can from a civil matter to resolve this. So there's no stone left unturned. We're doing every single thing, go with the full force of everything. That's the instruction that I gave to the attorneys and the officers. Michelle gave the attorneys, the officers that instruction. And then Andy spent a couple hours with me with the officers last week working on this. So this has been something that's went on for too long, but it's not going to be going on anymore, hopefully. So.
Can you explain
explain what you're talking about? Because we've heard several things on
Not in
sales
this,
here.
not in this forum right now,
Okay.
but, at another time we can talk to you. For my report, most of what I have to talk about tonight is gonna be on the agenda, but I've got a few notes. Lee County, broke a main water main, yesterday, and, there's a boil water notice. They said through tomorrow. It was lifted today, this afternoon, so you no longer have to boil water. So let everybody know that. 580 units were on the boil water notice, 462 of which belong to us. So how lucky are we? After the water turned back on, I don't know if you noticed, but some of the fire hydrants, the pressure had built up inside that caused a lot of water saturation all over certain areas, which might be good for the grass in those areas, but I was a little worried when it was first going on there. Our light poles, they will be here on Friday. They'll be installing on Friday. If they don't finish Friday, they'll finish up on Monday. The gates for the dumpster fences are just about ready to go. We should have them probably by the end of this week, and they'll be all installed within the next 2 weeks. They should be in here the next couple of days, making corrections to the vinyl fence that we installed. The vinyl fence that we installed earlier this year, going in and out of the community. A couple of posts are not exactly level, and they need to put new caps with screws on so they don't blow away, and just put the finishing touches on that. So if you see them in here doing that. The roofing project continues. They've got everything torn off. They just have to finish shingling. Probably 2 more weeks of roofing also. But next week and then the week after, we should be done with that. Season is coming to an end also, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for another great year. I think it was a great year. Thank you to all the volunteers that helped us with all different projects around the community. And even though we've got a little feedback here, I wanted to in particular thank, he's not here, but Ron Thuringer for helping us put together this new stereo system. A couple of little bumps here, but it's got potential here. I can see it's better than what we had. You know, I can see it's better than what we had. I think the 7 microphones on at once is we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Needs a little tweaking, but he did a really good job and tried to make it as idiot-proof as he could for us. So that was good. Yeah, as far as some of the matters that the sheriff was talking about, if you guys have any questions about that, come next Wednesday at 3 o'clock to the managers meeting, and I can try to answer them as best I can for you, okay? But right here is not going to be the forum. And then the last thing, just for a little laugh, if you saw it on the way in, Starbucks created a Frappuccino effect. I thought this was good timing since we just got a Starbucks. That the CEO of Zillow says that homes near a Starbucks appreciate 31% more than if they don't. So everybody here, hopefully we'll be making some money off of that Starbucks. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. And thanks for getting a lot of those projects rolling. That's so exciting, and we're looking forward to them being completed. I actually have just a few comments in my chairman's report. We're going to be talking a little bit about the pool tonight. All I can say is no time to work on it is going to be a good time. Somebody is going to be unhappy because they can't get in the pool, but we really need to get this done. So all we can do is ask for patience. When it gets started, the sooner we get it started, the sooner we'll be able to finish it and everybody will be able to utilize the pool. So I'm just asking for patience there. Regarding the dumpsters, I'm so glad we're going to get the closures on there. That's fantastic. And I will say that we are looking to put a second set of gates on the dumpster over there that used to be the Treasure Palace. A smaller gate because we may possibly be looking into getting a pickup so that we can start putting things in there and have, people be able to dispose of some big things. So we're gonna have a second gate put there, but it will be smaller and we're just gonna have to see how that goes. Right now, we can keep it locked. The gate will go on because they're working on the gates. The gate, it can be locked. And we can actually open it up at a certain period of time when we know the truck's gonna come, so things don't sit there for a really long time, so. But regarding the dumpsters, please toss, this is so stupid, but please toss your trash to the back of the dumpster when you open it. Everybody just opens a slide, drops it right there, and then everything piles up there and nobody can get anything past it. We have fewer people now, obviously, so it won't be quite as much, but if we just could get in the habit of throwing it to the back of the dumpster, it will not necessarily fill up quite so fast, okay? And just a reminder again about the recycler.
Is it filling up fast?
It had been. I had to help little Lorraine the other day because she was trying to put some stuff in there and we were trying to throw it up on the top because that was the only place there was room in the way back. You couldn't even push anything.
Normally, coming up next week, we would back it down to one time, but if you want to let me know how.
Well,
full it is.
this was about a couple of weeks ago. So now that, we'll have to see how it goes with a lot, less people here. But it's just, again, a good habit. If we get, those of us who stay here year round get in the habit of doing that, then when it starts getting piled up, we'll just have to harp on the seasonal people and get them to change their habits too. The recycler, please, please, please break your boxes down. We have so much stuff coming in here. Everybody has Amazon coming in multiple times. We have a lot of boxes, a lot of cardboard. We just need to break it down so it actually fits in there, and don't put plastic bags in there. It's listed on there what's allowed to go in and what isn't. And if it happened to be full and people are just leaving stuff outside as if the guy's going to get out of the truck and put it in there, that's not going to happen. So this is our community. We just need to do the things we know are the right and courteous things to do. Seasonals leaving, you already said that. Have a watcher for the unit, turn off the water heater. I mean, these are just the things you normally do when you're going to be leaving for several months. The other thing I wanted to mention is rentals. Owners need to make sure their renters are aware of community rules and regulations. If you are an owner and you have someone coming in, whether it's for 3 months, 6 months, or if it's year round, your responsibility as an owner is to make sure the people you're renting to know what we expect of them, and they should have a copy of those rules and regulations. If you don't have one, you can always ask the office. They'll make sure that you do have one. I think there might even be one on the website if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and if renters go through the screening process, we'll make them read an initial next to every single rule, but it's still good to go over it with them. Number one, it's your property that you're renting out to them. So if they're not taking care of it properly, it's your property. And ultimately you're responsible. And so you want to make sure that they're following it. People sometimes when they're moving in, they're excited, they sign the rules, and at some point in the future they forget. So you want to make sure that they're following the rules, especially the pets and things like that, stuff that really we cannot
And our leases are 3 months or more, not less than 3 months. So just a reminder.
And that's to prevent a hotel type atmosphere. That's to protect the way the community is.
What about background checks?
Background checks, yeah, all the way.
Yeah. So a copy of that lease goes in the office. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, in order to rent a unit in here, you have to complete the application, submit that with a copy of your lease and a copy of your ID and a $150 application fee. And then you consent to a criminal background check. And once you pass the criminal background check, that's when we'll start to go over the rules with you and that. But Yeah, all of that paperwork. And the same thing goes for a sale. You have to turn in the application fee, and then a copy of the sales contract. So that way we know the terms of everything that's going on in the community.
I think a lot of people are just, you know, they have a second unit, they're gonna rent it to somebody, maybe they draft up their own little lease, they leave a fob there for the person to come and go, and the office sometimes isn't even knowing who's in the unit. And there too, we end up with some problems. So we really wanna make sure everybody in here is going through the same process. So it's just a reminder to owners who have to take that kind of a responsibility for their property. Snakes sightings. We have had a few snake sightings. I can't hardly even say that. Now, you know, there's certain snakes that are not venomous and they'll keep your bugs away. But then there are some in here that are venomous, right? The copperhead, what's the rattler guy?
There are a few, yeah.
The rattler.
So here's the thing. I did a little research because I got a phone call one night. So I did a little research. Peppermint, cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, all of these are scents, I guess, that the diamondback rattlers don't like. Yeah, and Eric has some stuff that in his office to keep the snakes away too. Yeah. So if you are back, particularly if you back up to the preserve in the back or anything like that, and you're concerned about snakes, maybe out by your lanais or something, you find peppermint, you know, put something that has peppermint or cinnamon, that's so long as it's not going to destroy your plants or anything like that. And if you happen to see one, please call animal control, not me. I don't have a gun. I'm not going to go shoot it. And by the time I get the phone call, honestly, because the other night I had to try and make a phone call, I don't know where the snake is. By the time anybody even would have called back, which they never did call back, the snake was gone. So, you know, obviously you want to protect your pets and everything else. And in this case, then they did let the neighbors know so that nobody just walked out of their condo, because it was near one of the condos. And, you know, you think maybe the snake's going to come in the hallway. You don't want somebody to just walk out the door and see it. So I get it. Let your neighbors know. But call animal control, okay? And then if you want the next day, let Eric know so he can make sure Bruce does put some kind of deterrent down there.
I think part of it might be with it being so dry, some of these like reptiles that would be slithering through the water are now finding themselves on dry land and where they wouldn't typically be. But yeah, be aware of your surroundings, just like always.
Black snakes, don't bother them, let them go, because they are constrictor snakes, and the poisonous snakes, they're immune to all their bites, and they won't hurt a black snake, but they'll take care of copperheads, rattlesnakes, and so forth like that, and water moccasins, all those. They are they're immune to.
The bright colors or design on the skin, stay away.
One other courtesy, and this is strictly a courtesy thing, okay? Years and years and years ago, when I moved in, somebody said to me, when I backed my car in, and I live in a condo, so this is really for condos. I backed my car in, and it was in front of somebody else's lanai. And they asked, would I please not back my car in, because the exhaust from my car goes directly into their lanai when I start. So from that point on, I never did. Now I notice a lot of our cars in the parking lot for the condos, they do back in. This is, again, just a courtesy. If your parking space is in front of a lanai, just give consideration to the person who lives there that they would not necessarily want the exhaust from your vehicle coming into their lanai. So, and finally, when you voted this board in, it was with the understanding that we would act in the best interest of the community as a whole. And I believe that each of my fellow directors have already proven that. So I'm actually very glad to say that Eric has agreed to stay on as our licensed CAM through the end of December 2027. And for that, we're very glad. Prior to this role, prior to this role as chairman, I had no idea of all of the responsibilities and issues that Eric handles on a daily basis. His care and concern for the community is evident, and his 13 years of experience with Pine Ridge have proven valuable. So Eric, thank you, and we're looking forward to a continuing relationship.
Thank you.
All right, let us move on to the treasurer's report, please.
First of all, I want to apologize for missing the last month's meeting. I had surgery and was in rehab, and no, I wasn't in rehab for alcohol or something like that. So it was in physical rehab. So that is the first meeting that I missed since I've been on the board. So
He didn't want to miss it. We made him.
yeah, I was wanting to call in. They wouldn't let me do that. So might not want to hear what I was talking about then. So, but I'll get on with the report. So I report again to you tonight that the Treasury remains stable. We are on track with the 2025 budget so far this year, which I am very pleased about. We have numerous projects going on throughout the community, all of which were budgeted for and will not affect the maintenance fees. So that's one where you don't have to worry with. All this stuff, we worked on that quite a bit last year to get to the point we are now. A reminder to some, the second quarter assessments were due on the 1st of April. There are a number of residents who have not yet paid their quarterly fees. When I reviewed the list, it appears that most of the people are residents who always pay on time, so this most likely is just an oversight by those owners. Over the next week, if you have not remitted your payment for April, you will receive a courtesy late notice and or phone call from our management office to arrange this payment. And again, that's not to make you feel bad or anything. It's just a friendly reminder, and that's what we operate on. And again, thank you all for all your cooperation with this. And if you have any questions about the budget, as always, you can contact myself or Eric, and we'll be happy to sit down with you and go over any of it.
Thank you, Bill. Any board members have any questions for Bill?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. All right, let's go to committee reports. Sharon, do you have a report?
Just a real short thing, a couple of, we can't do much in the summer because of all the dry weather we have had. So until rainy season comes, we probably won't be planning too much, but I have worked with Skip this week. I've become Skip's best friend. And we have planted a few things that he has me out watering and he's watering. And, I also did a ride around with Eric to identify some of the spots in the community that we do need to pay attention to once we get into rainy season. And we'll be looking for volunteers, but I think we're going to hold off that whole program until September, October. So thank you.
Our new landscape up at the front is looking good. They managed to keep that water.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Brian, do you have anything from the website or safety?
Now, we did meet, and I sent a report, I believe, to the office. Nothing regarding too much in terms of safety other than some lights here and there.
Excuse me, can you speak into the mic, please?
Pardon? No.
Thank you.
You didn't really want to hear me.
I'm old, I can't hear anything anyway.
We did a brief ride around the other night and looked at some light issues, and I believe that most of those have been taken care of. Really nothing else pertinent has come up in the safety committee. We had a meeting last Tuesday, I believe it was, for anyone who may need assistance in signing up to the Front Steps website. Turnout was fairly mediocre. Well, actually, it wasn't even mediocre. It was pretty weak. But Lydia in the office is working on some issues with the Front Steps. We have in the neighborhood of 130 people who have been invited to open an account on Front Steps to get notices and so forth that have never responded. We also have 120 or 30 plus who don't have an email address. She's diligently working through those to try to determine if there are people that have left that are on the list still that haven't responded, or that we don't have a correct email for, or whatever. But if you are not getting notices from the community on a frequent basis, what's coming up, events coming up, notices about the meeting, any other notices or news, then see me, that there has to be an issue with your account. But we're working on it.
Mr. Bill, did you have a lake report?
Yes, I do.
All right.
As you may have noticed, the sprinklers, or whatever you want to call them, in the middle of the lake fountains, some of them's got some extra names for them, but you may notice they're out. I've asked Eric to turn those off during this time of year, because especially when the wind was blowing like we had there last week, we lose a lot of water from the lake when those things are on. So our level is going down right now, as you've noticed, and the irrigation people were in this afternoon, and I think you said they were going to 3 days a week, wasn't it, on irrigation? So,
And the other thing, to protect the motors, you don't want to suck air in that, you want to suck water up through them, so we turn them off when it gets too simple.
and our irrigation system is fed from the lake, so that way it's not through the water system. That way we can use the county's water, even though they don't want us to, I guess. But the water in the lake is the county's water. The property is ours. But so you figure how that works. I don't know. Eric's told them to come and get it a couple of times. They said they didn't have anywhere to put it.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. But I got the reports back on the lake, and everything is good as far as the way the lake is being managed. So everything looks good on it, except the water level dropping, and we can't do anything about that right now. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have a rainy season starting back, and our level will go back up. So you may have noticed we're getting a beach on the north end of the lake up there too. So.
All right, thank you. Deb, I believe you had something you wanted to report on?
Yes, I just wanted to share that I was contacted in regard to a parking concern, and what was raised was that there was inadequate parking spaces in the lot during the high season and tree debris. So to address this, one concern, we are going to remove one of the unused bike racks, and this will help to create an additional parking spot. And we will be consulting with the landscape company to see what we can do about some tree pruning or trimming that may help with the debris issue. I know that we had previously put in extra bike racks, but if they're not being used, and that is resulting in taking an additional parking space in some of the crowded areas, I think we'll continue to monitor that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I think if there's no other committees, because Andy's going to share, he's on the agenda. So we'll move into old business, and Andy, you want to give us an update on the fiber optic project?
As most of you know, Comcast has been working on installing our new fiber optic network infrastructure here at Pine Ridge. And as you can see on the map, it's on the wall right there, that sections marked off in green have been completed. In the yellow, they're still working on. The main construction part of this installation, they are marked in yellow and they're currently being worked on. You can see them on the board right over. They'll continue to install the villa units first. When that is complete, they will begin to run the lines for the multi-story condominiums. Damage caused by construction thus far has been minimal. The only event last week was an irrigation line, which was quickly repaired by the team in the field. We have construction update meetings every Thursday with our team from Xfinity, and I will continue to keep the community updated as this project progresses.
Good, thank you.
Any of the board members have any questions about the construction?
It's over my head.
Well, it's going well. If you have any questions, know that.
All right, Eric, then I think you're going to bring us an update on the insurance claim.
Yes. So we filed what's called an NOI with the state that notifies Heritage of our intent to pursue litigation. They had a period of time to respond, and they had until the 23rd to respond, and they responded yesterday, of course, the 22nd.
They did respond?
Yeah, they responded one day before their legally required deadline. So they took almost to the end. And they wrote a long letter basically discrediting every single thing that we say as nonsense and that they did everything exactly perfect. That's the gist of the letter. But the bottom line is they have requested mediation. So I'll read to you what our representation sent to us as far as the next steps, because this will just let you know where we go. Attached, please find Heritage's response to our notice of intent, which we received this afternoon. This letter includes a request for mediation and a request for additional documents, which I have listed out below. We are in the process of obtaining dates for the requested mediation and will be in contact to coordinate with you as soon as we receive availability. With regard to the documents requested, please be sure to have them as soon as possible so we can produce them at least 30 days prior to mediation, as stated in the attached correspondence. There's a link below for us to add any documentation. What they're looking for is photographs, documents, invoices, estimates, and reports taken by any person or entity reporting damages, the name of the company, service provider, roofer, entity Pine Ridge is relying on to support payment of additional damages, basis, support photographs. And it goes on and on and on. Board meeting minutes for the last 3 years they want bylaws and condominium declarations and complaints. A list of all the board members at Pine Ridge since September 2022. A list of all the property managers. That's going to be since September 2022. The contracts, documents, notes, names, individuals, entities who respected, reviewed damages. So, the basics. Basics. Yeah. So we'll turn over everything that we have. It will go to a mediation, and then we'll see what happens from there. So that's where that stands. Yes. Yes. I believe so. What I read says, so if I go into the letter, if you guys really want to hear this, it's Unbelievable. No. But let's just so we are clear, I think it's good. This correspondence constitutes Heritage Property and Casualty's response to the notice of intent to initiate litigation on behalf of Pine Ridge and Fort Myers. While Heritage welcomes the opportunity to respond to the notice filed in relation to this claim, Heritage believes that the NOI fails to acknowledge the extensive investigations and continued constant communications by Heritage in evaluating this claim, as well as the amount of benefits paid after application of considerable deductible for damages covered under subject of insurance policies. Summarily, the NOI appears to be devoid of considerable facts, and specifically key facts that would demonstrate the basis for pursuing a lawsuit is improper. So let me get to the mediation part here.
Hey Deb, I'd actually like them to send you a copy of this since you're our
Yeah.
mediation
Yeah,
specialist.
we just got it. By the way. We just got it.
I guess in my experience in mediation, they brought up mediation. We have not typically, both sides need to agree.
Yeah.
That they're going to pursue mediation and that it would be a binding mediation if we both agree to it.
So
So if I'm understanding correctly, they're just asking for mediation. They are initiating.
yeah, what they are saying is that Heritage has demonstrated and claimed additional amounts in the NOI are unfounded, unsupported, and failed to dispute the payments already afforded by Pine Ridge under the subject policy. Nevertheless, because Heritage will continue to operate in good faith, Heritage is requesting pre-suit mediation pursuant to Florida Statute 627.70152 to attempt to resolve this matter. To facilitate the effort of the mediation process, Heritage may require the inspections of the property, as well as all information, whether it be correspondence, statutory support, or other documents, information which Pine Ridge relies upon to support the basis for its NOI pursuit of litigation.
Okay, so then, I'll be happy to take it and read it, but I really would like to just, make sure that we follow through with the lawyer, because my humble opinion is that they're requesting the mediation, we have not even agreed to mediation, unless the lawyer did.
Yeah, no, it says here, based on the paragraph above, pursuant, Heritage is opting for the engagement of pre-suit mediations. I don't know if when they file that NOI, Heritage gets a couple of options to choose. Pre-suit mediation by the parties to, to occur within the next 90 days or other time span allotted by the statute. Heritage does not agree to appraisal or any demands for appraisal. In furtherance of coordinating, so. You get the gist of it. Now, additionally, tomorrow night at 6 p.m., Wink News, they're doing an investigative report on Heritage featuring Pine Ridge community. So the media pressure is going to get turned up on them right now, and we'll see what kind of impact that has. But, everybody, tomorrow night at 6, either watch it or DVR, and be interesting to see how it turns out. We did some interviews with them. I walked them around the community, and then they were here twice in the last week to get some drone footage to show, what we've got going on. The one question that they asked me when they saw that we were re-roofing some of the buildings was that our insurance didn't pay us for the roofs. How are we paying for it? And I said, the people are having to pay their own money. And that's the truth. So hopefully it all works out for us. But tomorrow night it will be on TV. So.
Thank you, Eric. All right, everybody, mark your TVs for 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's move into new business then. We're gonna look over a couple of options, discuss a little bit about the renovations to the swimming pool and the spa, and the asphalt repair, so.
Yeah, so for the renovations to the pool, I've met with about 10 different pool companies. Out of the 10, there's 3 or 4 that I would feel comfortable with using. A lot of them I don't think I would necessarily give the job to, just because I'm not confident in a good job. I've gotten back quotes from 3 or 4. There's 2 other quotes that I would like to see before we necessarily formalize this one. However, Splash Construction, out of all the groups that I met with, they were the one that I was the most confident in, that they knew what to do and what the job needed. And they've come in with a pretty competitive bid to resurface the pool, the bottom of the pool, replace all of the tiles, reset and regrout the coping, and then put in newer, bigger, better drains and things like that, and then also new pavers on the pool deck. The total cost for this is $110,400. As a point of comparison, one of the other bids, it was $88,000 just for the pool alone. Then we've had bids in the $80,000 for the paver. So this is very competitive. I would like to see these other 2, but most likely I think this is the one that we would go with. So I think if the board wants to make a motion to move forward with this, just pending review of the other 2 to make sure that we're not totally off base with it, you know.
This one includes the spa, correct?
This is the pool and spa, yeah. Pool and spa. Basically, everything would be brand new out there almost. The only thing that we would have to still look at is the vac pack, the pool equipment over there. That looks kind of bad. So apparently those are unbelievably expensive, just the covers to replace. You would never, the cover is $20,000. Like it's really a ridiculous thing. So there are other things that we can do with that. There's somebody that comes out and repairs them, and we're going to do that. And then we'll probably look at something to get it out of sight, maybe muffle some of the noise too around it, so that when they need to work on it, they can still access it, but there'll be a short little fence or something to that effect around it, so that way you won't see the ugly looking pool equipment, because I always thought that kind of looked bad. I can't imagine that those covers are that much money, but once I heard that, I had to find out if that was true, so then I started checking on it, and really unbelievable. So I wonder if we could make our own, is what I was wondering, for that kind of money. But yeah, everything would be brand new and beautiful, and I think it's very good. They're ready to work with us as far as June being the date, and I think they can get it all done during the month of June. They do a lot of municipal work. They just did a lot of the kids' splash pads that they opened at Marco Island Community Park. This group installed them. And I tell you, just the way that they knew everything about the pool and what to do really gave me a lot of confidence, regardless of the price. This is the one that I got.
So what are you looking for in the form of a motion?
A motion to approve this pending contract approval and all the terms. There's a couple terms in here that I don't like. They want a deposit of 50% upfront. I try to get them to back that down to maybe 20 or 25% upfront. We can pay them in 4 draws. So some terms like that, but if we can agree to that, I'd like to have the authority to move forward with this.
So
a motion.
Did somebody make a motion? Brian, did you make a motion?
I had a question, but you can make your motion first, then we can debate it. That's my question.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the bid that we've received from Splash, and that will, on the contingents that the attorney approves it, and we get some wording changed in that as far as the deposit goes.
Another thing too that I forgot to mention is what we're looking at is the staircase on the east side. We want to put in 2 handrails that are spaced apart, where somebody who like somebody like Bill who's getting better from his back surgery and can't walk that good, but it'd be good for him to get in the water. He can use that to get in the water easily and get out of the water easily. We think that would be good because a lot of people do use it for therapy. And Brian, what was your question?
I second the motion.
I don't yeah, I don't want to see a second yet. I want to revise it, so can I do that without a
I
second?
think the proper procedure is if there is a motion, the second request is next. Then we can debate the motion.
Okay, okay. So go ahead, tell me when I can talk.
Anyone seconded it?
Andy said.
Andy said.
Okay.
Just a quick question, Eric, on the budget for the pool or the pool renovations. I know we have budgeted that throughout the years.
Yes.
Do we have all of the money to meet the total cost of this? And
Yes, that's another good thing is it's basically right on the money. We are right there. We have I believe it's 52,000 in our pool resurfacing, and then we have around 50,000 in our pavers for the pool deck, and then we earned some interest on that money last year, and can't remember the exact amount, but it was enough that we're gonna have more than enough to cover this.
Eric, can I ask you, that 110,400, that is a solid quote, that's not going to change as you, because I know you haven't signed a contract yet, we haven't signed one. So I just want to be sure that we all of a sudden, that we don't approve this and then find out it's 115,000.
The way this reads, the items not included in the contract are spelled out. Additional soil, none of this stuff we're really gonna have. Capping or repair of sprinkler system, excessive rock removal, tree removal or relocation, removal, replacement of outdoor lights, patching, painting, caulking as a result of lanai screen or sod replacement. So that's not really gonna be a factor. The only thing I could see maybe being would be if we picked some kind of brick paver that was super expensive, you know what I mean? But as long as we went with something reasonable, it should be fine. But they go the full, even when they fill it back up with water, they bring a water truck in and fill it with that water because they want it to be chemically treated perfect water and start the pool off perfect.
How long will it be shut down?
We're gonna say a month. We're gonna try to make it less than that, but a month is what we should plan.
Is that with taxes included?
Yes. Yes.
So I do have a question on the things that are to be determined, the tile, the grout, and everything else. Because they're, on this particular contract, they're listing them as to be determined. Are those going to impact the price? Or is it like, okay, you say basic, the basic's in there?
I asked them that. I mean, unless we decide to pick 24 karat gold tiles.
So,
And we're kind of restricted on what we can pick because of the commercial nature of the pool. If this was a pool in our backyard, we could do all sorts of cool things and really make it look unbelievable. But because we are a commercial pool, the bottom, it can have some sparkle, some blue and some gold in it, but it's gonna be white, the bottom. The tiles, you have to have non-skid tiles, and they really only come in blue and black. So you're restricted in that case, and that's just what the state requires, the health department. Because there's gonna be a lot of it, when it's completed, that'll be when we renew our license also, June 30th, and there's gonna be a lot of different inspections that are gonna be out.
so Michelle, should we amend that motion to put a cap on what we're approving?
That's what I would like to see.
Yes, okay. I don't know if you want to keep it at the 110, 400 or give him 110, 500, but give him $100.
Just keep it at the 110,
Just give it
400.
the 110,
Yeah,
400.
if something were gonna change it, we would come back to the board. But I don't anticipate a change unless we went with a different company. The other two companies that we were waiting for were ones that we have relationships with already. So I just want to see what their offers would be.
So,
Yeah.
point of clarification, that you would come back to the board if you decide that if one of the other bids is beneficial. We're going to be making the bid today specifically for Splash, specifically for the 110,400.
Excuse me, Michelle. Michelle, I think we can clarify her question. The proper procedure is we have a motion on the table to amend the motion to add a cap to the previous motion.
Yes.
Was there an amount to that cap?
110, 400.
$400?
That's the amount,
$400.
Right.
That's the amount of the estimate.
Ryan, I actually was just trying to ask a question as part of discussion, not to amend the motion on the floor.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said I was not trying to amend the motion.
No, there is a motion on the table. Sharon moved to amend the motion
Prior to your question.
prior to
so,
your
yeah.
question.
Yeah, he just
Sharon,
he just felt like if we had made that
could
clear, that it would actually answer your question.
the motion be amended to say that,
The motion is to amend the motion to add a cap to a maximum of 110,000. The first motion was to approve acceptance of a contract with, and I need the name of it, dependent upon your review of a couple of other motions or other bids. If they were better, you had the authority to accept it.
I was just gonna say, if that could be part of the amendment, that either me and the chairman together could decide to switch if a much more favorable offer. I don't anticipate that,
The
but
motion was.
if it does, I want to leave that open.
The motion was to accept the bid that you offered unless you think the two other bids we get are better or more qualified. Now, the second motion was to amend it to add a cap, that if any bid comes in that's more than 110,400, you can't accept it.
Without coming back to the board.
Yeah,
But was there a second to Sharon's motion to amend?
Yes, I make a second.
Okay.
Any other discussion about it?
And if we don't do this, give Eric some room to work with this, we're gonna be delayed on getting started, and we're gonna be pushing back another couple months. So actually, this needs to be done as quick as possible, even though we're gonna make sure we get the best for our money. But we just need to make sure that we just get it taken care of in a timely manner.
we have the other two contractors that, one of them, the bid was supposed to be here, but he was referred by a contractor that does a lot of work for us, and we were lucky to get him to come and take a look. So I'd like to see what that one comes back at. And another one is actually built pools for a long time in Fort Myers, but his mom lives in the community, and sometimes we can get a favorable deal that way, and at least get an honest price and make sure that we're paying the right price. So I'd like to see both of those before we actually sign the paper, but for the purpose of this meeting, getting it approved.
All right, so based on the amended,
It's
motion.
not amended yet. You need to approve the amendment to the original motion first.
Yes, all right. All in favor to amend, make the amendment to the previous motion, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, then that part of it passes.
Now, the motion on the table is
Yes,
to approve the acceptance of the bid by, and I missed the name of the company.
Splash.
Approves.
Decided that Eric. We'll have.
Splash
we'll have discussion,
Construction
But I want to clarify the
in the
motion,
amount of $110,400.
provided that the terms that are specified are acceptable to you.
Correct. And if anything, we're going to change consultant or chairman.
all in favor of that motion? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, then it passes unanimously. We need a roadmap up here. All right, good job. Now let's move on to the asphalt. Eric, do you have a
Yeah,
presentation?
so the asphalt is another one. We've had several companies out here. One of them came in and gave us a very, very inexpensive offer, but I had no faith in him to do the job. I couldn't let them do that, especially when I started to do some research and things. So then we had two other companies out. I feel that these prices are just artificially high. This one here, now it's the walking path, and then it's also, there's several areas in the parking lot and the streets that need to be repaired, especially coming in the gate, where everybody drives in, you know.
Yep.
But these are in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. Now, we have plenty of money to use for asphalt paving because we reserve for that. Painting, paving, roofing, those are the three main reserves. And since paving the whole community is far off in the distance, an amount of like 20 or 30,000 can be made up over the course of 10 or 15 years. It's not a huge deal. However, we don't want to spend the money foolishly. So I'd like to have something approved so I can act on it and get this stuff repaired right away. But I don't want to accept these offers where I feel that it's too much. So what I would ask is if the board would move to authorize up to $25,000 for the walking path repairs and seal coat, and then also to repair the roads. And then if I do need more money than that, I will come back to you. But I feel that that's wiser than accepting this because we're going to overpay by $5,000 or $10,000 if we go with these offers. So if I have a little more time to talk to people and find the right crew, I think we can get it done at a much lower price.
So you're thinking 25,000, and that's as much as we have at least budgeted to,
Yeah,
available.
we have available, enough to do it, but it's still real money. We don't give it away. We want to use it smart. And my hope is 25,000 is actually way more than we need. I've got experience doing asphalt repairs and seal coating and work like that. It's been a few years. I know the economy is a little bit different, but I don't think it's this much. Different. Hey, Deb, you're back on. So yeah, if the board would, we can pick an amount. 25,000, I think, is reasonable based on these quotes being 35 to 40, and then we'll try to beat that and get everything done. Good quality, yeah.
Would it make any difference if we pass that this month, or next month? I mean, you know what I mean?
Well,
with the pool, I understand because you want.
Well, if I'm able to get a contractor that is able to jump on it. The stuff on the walking path.
Yeah.
You know, it's been there for a long time like that, but somebody could trip and fall, and I hate to make them wait, longer. So like if we have the opportunity to get it done, I'd like to be able to jump on it and get it done. But yeah, I could bring it back also. I mean, there's a motion to allow for some judgment there, whether I can bring it back or if somebody says they can come and do this for us tomorrow, it'd be nice to get it done tomorrow.
So your request is for a motion to approve your review of bids.
Yeah, if I continue to solicit the bids to repair
and resurface the walk.
Repair and reseal the walk and repair areas of the roadway not to exceed $25,000. These bids here, like this one here, it's $37,000. It's too much. It's, when you break out the square footage, we've got people who live in here that are in that business. Like we know how much it costs. So it needs a little bit of work, but it would be good if we had the authority to move forward on it. Sometimes that urgency can also get us deals.
I would be willing to make the motion to give you that liberty up to the $25,000.
And I don't even need it to be unilateral. Like it could be Michelle and I, or Bill and I, or whatever you get.
Right. On final review of the, all the contracts.
I have, I don't care who we use. I just don't want to spend money foolishly.
I second the motion.
Okay. Great. Any other discussion?
I just have one question because I was out.
Yeah, you got cut off. Yep.
Do we have the 25,000 to do this job in the budget?
Well, we have money for paving in our reserves that we can use.
Okay, all right, so it's not going to result in an increase to anyone's utilities?
Yes, no.
Okay, great.
And just so everybody understands, we're talking a lot about reserves tonight. So the reserve money that we have is for specific items that are expensive that we save up for over the years, like your roof. Say if a roof is going to last 20 years and cost $20,000, we have to save up $1,000 a year to have the $20,000 by the time the roof is done. That's separate from the operating budget, and it can't be used for anything else. So like this paving money that's in the reserves, if we're not doing paving for another 15 or 20 years, it's just going to be sitting there and cannot be used for anything else, no matter what the emergency is. So when we have paving issues, we should use it. Same thing with the pool. Same thing with the pool. Like having that money in the bank does us no good because it can't be used for anything other than the pool. So let's have a nice pool.
All right, so we have a second already on the floor, yes. So
Yes, there's a second.
let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No, then it passes unanimously, Eric.
Getting stuff done.
Yes, we're just getting it done. All right. Was there anybody that signed up for the open forum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Norman.
You can do it?
No, I'm going to defer to my wife because I came in case she wasn't make it. We also call her Queen. Mom.
Is this working?
Get it close to your mouth.
Hello?
No, it might not be on. Here, just.
Here, you want to take this one?
Now?
Yeah.
And I'll be quick. I've been involved with Community Cooperative and
Thank you,
Meals
by
on
the way.
Wheels. And I want you all to know that we've delivered almost 1,000 pounds of food
Yay.
from Pine Ridge. So thank you all. Thank you all.
You know how much 1,000 pounds of food is? Let me tell you.
And we're finishing up the peanut butter and jelly drive. And if you can find it in your hearts to do BOGOs or Costco, we need cereal, boxed cereal. because the kids always get fed breakfast and lunch in the city schools. And when they're off for the summer, a lot of them don't eat. So keep that in mind for the drive, but really, thank you so much. And then I wanted to talk about Meals on Wheels, because Norman and I have been doing that for a couple of months now. And we deliver, I have a route of 10 stops, Norm drives, I run in and deliver. And I have some bullet points that they gave me. We serve up to,
Talk into the mic.
we serve up to 500 active homebound citizens in our community. It takes 210 volunteers each week to transport and deliver the meals. Deliveries happen Monday through Friday between 9 and 12. And so we're done the rest of the day to go to the pool or do whatever we want. And there's no minimum time commitment. Norm and I have signed up for every Wednesday. So we delivered today, but we also delivered yesterday because the regular driver and delivery couldn't make it. So my people got to see me 2 days in a row. And I have dogs that are happy to see me. I have people who are even starting to dress nice when I come to the door. And it really is, it's just very rewarding. So if you want to think about it, you could do a ride along with me and Norm and see what we do on a Wednesday morning. Or I can just give you the address for Community Cooperative online, and you can sign up. You don't have to do every week. You can be on call like yesterday. Instead of calling us and say, can you pick up an extra day, they have a list of volunteers to fill in. So mostly I'm saying thank you. And the more I get involved with them, the more wonderful they are. And I was out with a group tonight for my book club. And they said, we don't do anything in our community. I think we should start doing food drives. And just find it in your heart and see if you can do it. That's it.
Leah, thank you so much for getting started, getting us involved in this, because it is a great thing, yes. But thank you and Norm for the 1,000 pounds you carried.
And for lugging all that food.
Barb, I'm sorry,
Hi, I'm Barb Jackson, the Pine Ridge Social Club president, and I just wanted to review a few things. Easter, we had a ball. The only problem is we had very limited help. We need help for events, and the feedback I've been getting from people, they've said they loved everything that went on this year. There was a lot of activities, and so I'm calling on all of you. If there's something you want to do, please let us know and we'll get it on the calendar and we'll get it going, because the more we keep active, the healthier we're going to be. And I'm looking for suggestions for next year. There is no meeting in July because most of us will be away, the board. And again, we need volunteers. So help out wherever you can. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Barb. Donna Gerasi, where are you? Donna?
Donna Gerasa.
Cinco de Mayo.
I forgot, we have Cinco de Mayo coming up.
Hang on.
Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. Everybody can hear me, right?
No, use the mic so that it picks up on the video.
Thank you.
Okay, can everybody hear me now?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to say that when we did the check of the lights here, the safety committee, we also noticed that there was some fencing on Sailview in the back that was like just discarded when they put in the new fence. We may be able to use that for something.
Yeah, actually, after one of the recent hurricanes, we had rebuilt that fence over on Sailview with those fence panels, and they're the same ones that we use behind some of the villas. So when we were replacing the wooden fence with the vinyl, I didn't want to just throw away those panels because they're about $60 or $70 each. And I think there was 9 of them. So I asked them to stack them over there, and Bruce and Met last week were moving them back to the shop because we have to get them painted on the other side so we can use them at the villas. But basically, just reusing, saving a little money, 9 of them at $75, it's almost $1,000. So.
Thank you. Did anybody else want to come up, have any questions, comments about what we've spoken of? Yep. Dwayne, come on up.
I didn't sign up, but I hope to take my comment.
If it's about something we discussed, absolutely.
Yes, I want to thank the board and Eric for your quick action and concern about our issues that we had on Sailview. I hope they're resolved. I also wanted to make a comment about our walking path. We all know how important that is to us here in the community. I want to make sure we get a good job on that walking path. So somebody's here when the work is being done so they can monitor and make sure the guys do a really nice job for us. Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And Dwayne, thank you again for all the help that you If there is nobody else.
One other comment before you close.
Sure.
If I may, if there's any bridge players here, please see me after the meeting.
We need a phone call. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay. Basically, I did. All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
I'll send you that.
Thank you, I see them all the time.
That was work.
I know that.
I have to twist Brian here. I had it down the bottom.
When are you leaving? Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
Hey, Phil.
Be careful going back.
Thank you.
All right.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I just don't have any balance.
That'll come with walking. Physical therapy still?
Yeah, I gotta go back on Friday. Trying to get a couple days a week. Spent 3 weeks, wasn't it, in
3 weeks in rehab.
rehab, straight every day. Yeah, three operations in 5 months.
All right, well, I hope you get well. Keep working.
Go ahead, sure. Yes, Mr. Hart, good to see you. You're old.
Good night. Oh, yeah.
With the water restrictions,
So that's why when it comes to